All right. Good morning, Acadiana. Dave Schultz on the Monday morning episode of the Schultzycast. Let's see if this is working in the different areas that we want it to be. We have gone with StreamYard here. Let's see if we are live in the different ones. Oh, we are. All right. No one watching there yet, I presume, and no one watching in the Facebook yet or the YouTube, but we are live in the different ones. Oh, there we are. All right, good. All right. Do we have? All right. And we do last week. All right. And hopefully we can see the comments coming in. Let me put it there. If you do have comments, you're welcome to do so. All right. Please subscribe. We got up to like 87 subscribers last week. That was pretty good. We started at 10 before the show even started. So please like and subscribe. And this show may be a little bit longer than the ones that we've been doing before. So far, they've been about 25, 30 minutes. But boy, do we have a bunch to talk about today. Let's just check it out. I checked it out first thing this morning because the Ragin Cajuns are on fire. They have won 11 in a row. And I can see TJ. Hey, TJ. All right, there we go. All right, congratulations, TJ Smith. Big Bama fan, says he's going to be insufferable because Alabama went to the Final Four. If they won, I tell them he is insufferable because, God, I can't imagine what TJ Smith was doing in the first few minutes of that Alabama Elite Eight game when they couldn't throw it in the ocean. And then they did make it. Of course, they make it to the Final Four after I move away. So, anyways, congratulations to TJ Smith. Nate Oates, absolutely, he did not go away from Plan A. Whereas Duke had issues with Plan A and could never adjust. Alabama stayed with it, and then it worked. All right. So the Cajuns are streaking. They have won 11 in a row. And I'm absolutely obsessed with warrennolan.com. I love that website. All right. And I can tell you what it is right now. Last night it was something different when I recorded Lockdown Sunbelt. But right now, the Cajuns, having won 11 in a row, have a predicted record of 40-16. All right. Last night, they had a predicted record of 42-14 with an RPI of 28. This morning, it's 40-16 with a predicted record of 50. Here's the problem with that. They ain't getting into the NCAA tournament with a predicted RPI of 50. Now, it's changed again. This is why I'm obsessed with it. One win. They go from, maybe not. They've got a few different. They're back to 45-11. I mean, he's predicting that the Ragin Cajuns are going to lose 3 more games the rest of the way. That's crazy. Or his computer is. They have an RPI 25. Obviously, they will get in there. And for me, as we saw with the NCAA tournament, you got to be top 35 to basically guarantee yourself. If they're in first place in the Sun Belt and are in the top 35 nation, they'll get an at-large berth. I'm not rolling the dice that they are 42 to 50, and they're going to get one in because they had a great year in the Sun Belt. All right. The Cajuns are on fire. They had at least 2 come from behind victories. First one was very short, right? They fell behind 1-0 on Thursday, but Connor Higgs goes Apo Taco and ties the ball game up. They go on to win that 4-1. They blow them out. Saw a little chink in the armor. The bullpen struggled for the first time in a minute, but they, tack on a bunch of runs. Caleb Stelly, a 3-run bomb. He went Apo Taco, and they blow him out. 16-5. Little again, dent in the armor. We'll put it that way. On Saturday, with no Carson Fluno. All right, I presume he's going to be out for more than a minute. I would be shocked if he comes back this week, but we'll see. Maybe he responds to the meds. Who knows? But Blake Marshall was not particularly good. I thought Holtzhammer was, but they managed to win the battle of the bullpens because that's what it was, right? It was 2-0, then 2-2. And then, in the middle of the 5th, no starters or anywhere there when they knocked out the Texas State starters to battle the bullpens. And immediately Texas State got on top, leading 4-2. But they had left guys on base throughout, right? And you go back to that game, it's kind of like missing free throws. little bit different. But they left, including the 2 guys on in the 9th, which is the tying the go-ahead run, they left 12 men on base. That was a problem. The Cajuns could attack on some runs in the 9th to maybe, demoralize the team heading into the 9th. And the other thing we learned is that LP Langevin, however you want to pronounce it, needs more than 1 day rest if he goes on 3 1/3 innings. He was untouchable on Thursday. Untouchable. They had no shot. That 1-2 punch between Herman and Langevin is brutal. There, you got no shot. You're going from the crafty lefty who probably throws harder than we'd like to admit. He's not throwing 80 to 82, right? Probably throws 80 to 87, maybe get it to 89, 90. But then Langevin comes in and just blows you away. And he was awesome. Struggled on Saturday after he pitched 3 1/3 innings. On Thursday, he just was not nearly as sharp. Nonetheless, for the first time ever, the Cajuns sweep Texas State in San Marcos. And they're on fire. And now they're coming home to play like 10 out of 11 ball games. Their one road game over the next 2 weeks is Southeastern. They play a home and home from Southeastern, right? They're not even leaving the state, almost, but not quite. But here's the problem, right? They can ill afford to lose some of these games. That's nuts. That's not what baseball is. Somewhere along the way, you're going to, the ball is not going to bounce your way. A call's not going to go your way, right? Someone's not going to make a play because you're playing Marshall and ULM. Let's look what they are right now. Those are not going to be helpful. As of right now, Marshall's RPI is 185. Even Southeastern dropped to 136 because they lost twice to Houston Christian, who is also on the Cajun schedule. ULM coming up is 171. You're going to get crushed if you lose those games, right? You can't lose to Nichols. You can't lose to, Prairie View A&M, right? La Tech is the best thing at 77. Like, that's not going to crush you. The problem with the Prairie View A&M and the ULMs and the Marshalls is even if you beat them, that's not helping. Let's see where they are now. They're still RPI of 50, which is really impressive. But you can see, if you go to WarrenNolan.com, each win is a big difference. Like I said, they've been all over the place. They had 39 wins last night when I recorded it. And now I woke up and it was 42-16. Now it's 45-11. All right. Which is amazing. They're 45-11 and they won't get a regional. Can you imagine that? Because that's the schedule. And we've been talking about that. This predictive records thing, like the non-conference strength of schedule is 126. Not great. Strength of schedule is 82. Still not good. But that's the way the schedule was made. And I didn't realize what he meant, Matt Diggs, when he said we made an SEC schedule. Go look at like Vanderbilt's schedule or Tennessee's schedule or LSU schedule. Like, they have not played a lot of road games. There's some neutral games, but they're not a lot of road games. Cajuns have not played a lot of road games. This is the second series they've been on the road. Let's see what they've been on the road, right? Oh, that's overall. Let's see. They played 9 games on the road. So what is that? That's 2 series. Where's the third series? Tulane was at home. Arkansas State. Texas State. Where's the other series? Moving on the road. Oh, Northwestern State. Oh, and McNeese. Okay. So they have played a little bit on the road, but those other teams have not. Like Vanderbilt is like 0-3 on the road. It's crazy. I don't think LSU's played a lot on the road. So the Cajuns, and again, we see a little bit of a, who's going to make it up in the bullpen? Does Murphy Brooks come back? What are they going to do for this weekend? Somewhere along the way, it's not going to go their way, and because that's baseball, right? This is not about, baseball is different than the other sports where, you can do your best and it not work out, right? You can hit bloopers and they fall in, or you can hit line drives and they get caught. It's not like college basketball where you get hot from 3, or as we saw from Duke yesterday, God, JMU is like, they couldn't miss against us, and now they can't hit anything against NC State. No. So the Cajuns are on fire. They've won 11 in a row. What can they get that up to? I think in 14, they won 15 in a row. They lost their first game. Like, I didn't know what I was walking into here in 2014, and the only thing I knew about Eastern Illinois is that they lost their first game. They lost their home opener, ran off 9 in a row, lost, and then won 15 in a row. So they won 24 of their first 26 ball games. Now they've won 11 in a row, and they're going to be favored to win every single game over the next 11, right? I don't care if that Southeastern game's on the road or not. They should beat Southeastern. Can they run it to 22 straight before playing Coastal? It's really impressive. So, and the hitting is coming around. Kyle DeBar's cooled off a little bit. John Taylor's cooled off a little bit, but clutch hitting. Jose Torres continues to get it done. They need Trey LaFleur to get healthy again. It does seem like Matt Deggs is pinch hitting a little bit more right-left than he had been early on in the year, getting some guys some more at bats. So we'll see how that works out. They do play on Tuesday this week, right? They have Nichols on Tuesday, and then it's only a 4-game week with Nichols and then ULM coming in this weekend. I am debating whether to go to Brandon, Mississippi. Kind of tough to do that in my financial state, but they're having a bourbon thing. I may go to Mississippi for that just to have a little bit of fun. All right. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Schultzycast. Please like and subscribe, share it on the YouTube. We are all over the place. Appreciate all the efforts. And we got 26 people watching. I'm not sure I thought 26 people were going to be watching all week, if that's the case. All right. So, well, let's see where we were. Let's see what else we did. Well, anyways, so we can talk about, there we go. Well, we'll get to LSU and Iowa here in a minute, but the Kim Mulkey is interesting. The Kim Mulkey story against the Washington Post was a big nothing burger. There was nothing in it that anybody was like, oh, really? That's something new. She holds grudges. Big shocker. She's driven to win. Big shocker. I don't think that was anything different. We've seen stories on Bobby Knight, Mike Krzyzewski, Tiger Woods, people who are driven to win. We've also seen people who hold grudges. It happens. She may take it to the nth degree with her father and her sister, but people do. I can tell you about a certain Hall of Fame championship winning coach who is rather beloved in Central New York, who basically got a talk show host fired. You want to talk about petty? You want to talk about holding grudges? That, a multimillionaire in Syracuse doesn't cost a lot to live up there. And I know where he lives. He lives right next to my high school, if you will, on the other side of the high school. And, he basically got somebody who's making, a solid 5, maybe low 6-figure salary and took him off the radio because he could. So it's not like holding grudges. That's something new. So what we won't get from, Kim Mulkey is an apology on that. Now, on the other hand, she made us realize with the Ben Bolch article, which was brutal. That was the dirty debutantes. That was awful. Absolutely crossed the line. Sexism, racism. And that's not what Ben Bolch is. Again, Ben Bolch is this, he's not up for hyperbole. That's not what he is. They did edit it. He was out of line, crossed the line. But here's going to be the problem. Now if she wins tonight, right? If she loses, she does a press conference and kind of goes into the ether for the most part, right? We're not going to see her again until she decides she wants to do something public. But Kim Mulkey's out here defending, an article on being sexist and racist, which she should absolutely do, defend her players, right? But then someone in the national media, probably not Baton Rouge media, but the national media is going to say, hold on, you're right in defending your players here, but boy, when it came to the sexual assault issues in Baylor, you really were pushing back on that, right? You were kind of defending Baylor, which is her employer. That's okay. But boy, you didn't want to hear about anything about that. How do you differ between what's happening now and what's happening then? She'd probably say, well, that's in the past. But that's the only issue. And we'll see what happens if they do win tonight. It was a lot of fun watching that ball game on Saturday, right? That went both ways. That UCLA LSU game was a lot of fun. Floji Johnson was ridiculous. I like Angel Reese. I just do. She's got a big smile on her face in the locker room. I don't know if that's something that she's practicing, without the scowl. I like them. I mean, they're good. They're fun to watch. I think LSU is immensely better than Iowa. We'll see. Iowa's the 2 seed, though, right? So I guess they've had a better season. I mean, this could be one of the highest rated basketball games, college basketball games of the season, and I will certainly be tuned in for this one. That's the Iowa LSU ball game is going to be fantastic. So looking forward to it. Haven't watched a whole lot of the women's, to be honest with you. The LSU games I watched UConn and Syracuse, and that was a lot of fun. Like, Syracuse actually had a shot, right? Like, UConn was winning the whole game, and then the point guard for UConn fouled out. Not Paige Buchers, but the point guard fouled out, and UConn was a little lost. And Daisha Fair brought them back, and unfortunately she turned it over. They were down 3 with less than a minute to go and actually had a shot. So it's just a fun game to watch. Looking forward to that. All right. It is the Schultzycast. Please like and subscribe. It's a Monday morning. A Schultzycast. Actually got up feeling a lot better, right? I actually tested myself for COVID, did not have it, mostly concerned with people that I may have been around this weekend, just to let them know, but didn't have it. So that was good news. A lot less congested. And again, if you weren't with us, I was taking that cough syrup, and you basically have to be carded to get it. I know why. That's some good stuff. No matter how many times I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I was out cold seconds after I hit the pillow again. So feeling much better. Sounds like I've only had a couple of cigarettes compared to the half a pack or 2 packs that I had last week. So we are doing much better. Again, please like and share. Please subscribe. It is a big help. All right, let's see what else we have, because it was big. Let's talk LSU baseball, because they are very different. They're kind of the opposite of the Cajuns. They are on fire, or they're not on fire. They're the opposite way. They were 18-2. LSU was 18-2. They're now 20-9. They're 2-7 in the SEC, and one of those wins was a little bit lucky against Mississippi State. They beat Florida once, but lost 2 out of 3, and just got swept by Arkansas. They got Vandy coming in. Now, Vandy, as I mentioned, were 0-3 on the road. They got swept by South Carolina, so is that a winnable series? And then you're going to Knoxville to take on Tennessee. All right, here's going to be the difference between the Cajuns and LSU. LSU doesn't have to worry about their RPI. Their RPI is going to be great. Regardless of their record, we could go to Warren Nolan and check what that is. They're predicted. It's interesting what they predict and how this prediction goes, because it's got to be based on what the other teams are, right? Because they are, again, LSU is 20-9. They've lost 5 out of 6 in the SEC. Their predicted results are 39-17, and they have an RPI of 23. Right? If the Cajuns' predicted results is 39-17, their RPI is going to be in the 50s. LSU is 39-17, and they in the conference go 15-15. So based on those predicted results, like, LSU is not in danger of missing the NCAA tournament, right? Now, this can turn on a dime, absolutely. Win the series against Vandy, and you've settled things down. Win the series against Tennessee, or at least win one. At least win one against Tennessee, and you've kind of settled things down, because you're getting Missouri, Auburn, Ole Miss. You do have to go to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama. That's not going to necessarily be easy. So the second half of this schedule is much easier than at Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, Vandy, Tennessee. I mean, you're basically playing the top 10 in the nation in a month. So that is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. The thing I'd be concerned about if I was LSU, because Arkansas can pitch, but their offense apparently has some consistency issues. They weren't exactly losing 2 or 3-1, right? They did lose, unfortunately, on Saturday. Tommy White just misses a home run that would have given them the lead, and then lines into a double play. That's baseball, right? That so close, but yet so far. By the way, I don't know how they can overturn that call, whether it was either way, right? If they called it a home run, how are they going to call a foul? They called a foul. How do they even see that? Is there a different camera angle than we were getting? Because I couldn't follow the ball. I don't even know how they're doing it. So we'll see about LSU. They absolutely have to turn it around. It doesn't get any easier for 2 weeks, right? What happens if they lose these 2 series? What happens if they start out, we won't say get swept, but lose? So that's 2 and 4. So what happens if they start out 4 and 11 in the SEC? Is that going to be an issue? I mean, people are going to start to get nervous then, because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to, you have to sweep Missouri at Missouri. That's not easy. I think they had issues with that one year. Auburn's not going to, winning the series against Auburn at home is not going to be easy. You're expected to do that, but that might not necessarily be easy. Ole Miss got embarrassed over the weekend, a little run ruled action. So that might be easier. And then there's somebody else. Let's see who we got here. Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Missouri, Auburn. Oh, you got A&M at home, as if that's going to be easy, right? Their RPI is 9. They're ranked 4th in the country. So that's not going to be the A&M getting the A&M series. I guess could be the difference between, depending on what happens, that could go from, do we get a regional and are we in the NCAA tournament? Could it be that widespread? I don't think it is. It's not that widespread for LSU compared to the Cajuns, right? The Cajuns need to win every single ball game. As I'm telling you, LSU at 39 and 17 is an RPI in the 20s, and they will get in. So can't be too concerned about that yet, but you do need to start winning. And here's going to be the issue where it usually isn't. You can't lose some of those midweek ball games, right? Like they are getting Southern this week. Can't imagine them losing to Southern. Cajuns run ruled them. Right? They get McNeese. They're getting New Orleans. They get Nichols, Northwestern State. There's always a rumbling when LSU has these midweek ball games. They don't have to worry about them because of the SEC RPI, and that's always true. But that's usually when LSU is pretty good. You lose a couple of those, and all of a sudden you're finding yourself in the 30s compared to in the 20s. So I don't think I think there should be concern with LSU. I don't think there should be panic. We're not at panic stage yet. Lose the series to Vanderbilt, lose the series to Tennessee, a little bit of panic, a little bit more than concern. Just at that point in time. All right, Dave Schultz on the Schultzycast, already up to 23 minutes, 42 people watching. Wow. Please like and subscribe. A big help. Should be able to get over 100 subscribers now on the YouTube page. Also, Locked on Sunbelt, if you haven't subscribed to that, that would be a big help as well. Should be able to get up to 1,200 hopefully this week. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, we mentioned, we did do the Kim Mulkey thing. Men's Final Four. And that was a lot of fun yesterday as well. I was actually recording the Sunbelt podcast at halftime of the NC State Duke game. Turn it on, and Duke's losing, and you could see it wasn't going their way, right? It is interesting when you see these coaches, and as I mentioned, Nate Oates did not change from Plan A. He stays with Plan A. I think if you see the shot sheet, I think Doug Gottlieb did the shot selection of Alabama, all threes or layups. It was unbelievable. I wanted to make those adjustments. Duke never made the adjustments, right? It all looks good when Duke can't miss. All right. And NC State was much more physical than they were. Like when JMU brought it to Wisconsin, Wisconsin didn't respond. Well, Duke brought it to JMU, and JMU didn't respond. Well, Terrence Edwards got into foul trouble, and yesterday Filipowski got in foul trouble and was gone, but I think the game was over by that time. Like Duke couldn't hit a thing. And NC State's this great story, right? My nephew wants credit, although I didn't pick him in the in his bracket. He fell in love with them when they won the ACC tournament, and I was like, watch them lose on the first weekend. And we go back, and people put it out there. Virginia doesn't miss the free throw to go up 4 in the ACC tournament. NC State's Kevin Keatts is probably fired, and NC State's not in the Final Four. That's how close it is. They miss a free throw. Virginia missed a free throw. They bank one in, and they're in the Final Four. And they get They get Purdue, so we'll see. You're going to have DJ Burns versus Zach Edey, and good for Purdue, just like Virginia losing in the first round, now making it to the Final Four. Everyone's going to have a tough time against UConn. They are so good. I mean, everyone's saying that a 30-0 run is unheard of in the Elite Eight. 30-0 runs are unheard of, like, period, right? Like, LSU had a big run. Was it like 38-9 against Middle Tennessee State? But those things are unheard of, right? No one does 30-0 runs. You don't do 30-0 runs in the regular season against lesser competition. It's much more impressive when you're doing it against the Illini and that offense, right? I was on the way to the Yard Goat here in Lafayette. I heard it's 28-23. Look up on the scoreboard, and it's 2.5 minutes in, and UConn still has Illinois still has 23. They're shooting free throws with under 14 minutes to go, still have 23. And they haven't scored yet. They haven't scored yet. So it's going to be tough to beat UConn. So they're the prohibitive favorite. I liked what Nate Oates said. Nate Oates is not the best of all public speakers, but boy, he was really thorough about two things. About how he, 11 years ago, he was winning a state championship in high school. So the reason he's here, if you don't know, right, I'm sure the story will be told incessantly. Bobby Hurley, of all people, hired him to be on the UB staff because he was a math teacher and analytics, and he's doing what he's doing now. And now he's going to go coach against Danny Hurley. So that's pretty cool. But he also reached out to Frank Martin. He reached out to Boeheim. Teams that were not playing well, and Nick Saban, teams that were not playing well leading into the tournament. What can I do? And basically they said, you just got to start playing defense is what he said. Like, we're the number one offense in the country. We don't have to be the number one defense, but can we be a top 20 defense? Like, their defense has been awful all season. And now all of a sudden they're playing some defense and they're winning basketball games. Right. I don't know if Clemson gave that game away. I mean, Clemson maxed out their potential, right? I mean, they maxed out their potential. They had a great run. Alabama's just a better basketball team than Clemson, and they're doing it banged up right now. He did mention, we haven't been, healthy all year. People are going to hear that as excuses. I hear that as reasons. When you don't have your players, those are reasons. Will mentioned they got to where they are without some of their banged up players. Point guard for Houston got hurt, and that was their excuse. Ouch. Well, the difference is that Alabama has played without their guys for a little bit, right? So I still think it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the Purdue NC State side. It would be very difficult if UConn does not win this. It'll be a little bit surprising, right? Everybody's loving some DJ Burns. He plays multiple instruments. It's surprising when we find out a college student reads books. So it's been a great tournament. We found out that college basketball is alive and well. Women's college basketball has caught up to the men's. I remember I always thought that the women's Final Four had to be different weekend, but now it's basically the same weekend, different days, right? It's Sunday, Monday, which isn't the worst thing. So they can have it all to themselves. All right, already 30 minutes, not getting away with saying something about the Yankees. I'll be the first to say I'm not high on the Yankees. Garrett Cole is out for at least 2 months. But Juan Soto had himself a weekend. By the way, 50 on the first one. That's been on all three outlets. So thanks so much. Please subscribe, like, and share, all of that on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. It's a big help. Hopefully we can get over 100 subscribers now. And boy, the faster I get to 1,000, the better off. And we can keep on doing the Schultzycast. If we don't know, I was let go from Town Square at the end of November. corporate cutbacks. And so plan A didn't go as well as I had hoped. And so now I guess this is plan B. And we'll see if we can keep on doing this, because Acadiana does not have, and if someone can come up with a morning slogan for this, because, Acadiana's only morning local drive, only, local morning drive sports talk show is a mouthful. Like, I can't even say it. So I need something. Acadiana's only local morning show. That's not technically true, but morning drive show. So we don't have one, right? I mean, they, at Town Square, they put on a show. He does a great job from Shreveport, but it's Shreveport. So he's talking, ULM and Grambling and La Tech, and that's not what we need to talk about down here, right? So we don't have a local show on. The other station, has Foot on at 9, but they're doing national. Love the national guys. I wake up listening to the national guys, but we don't have a local show here in Acadiana. So that's what I'm trying to talk, Cajuns, Tigers, Saints. Didn't even get to Pelicans. Pelicans with not a great loss to the Celtics, but the Celtics are better, right? You still can go 4-2 on this homestand, which was the idea. I was hoping to beat the Thunder and probably lose to the Bucks and Celtics, but you're 1-2, and can you go and win those other 3? We'll get to that later on. I forgot about the Pelicans. But anyways, please like and subscribe. It's a big help. And if anybody wants to sponsor the show, please let me know. We can put a little logo. How about right there? Right there. There we go. Doing the camera reverse. Yeah, right there. Okay. All right. Anyways, Yankees with a big series sweep over the Astros. Juan Soto had himself a weekend. Talking about, becoming a Yankee fast. Throws out the tying run on Thursday, right? The Yankees were down like 4-0, tie the ball game up, take the lead, and Soto throws out the tying run in the 9th to preserve the victory. Clay Holmes already given us agita, 3 out of the 4 ball games. When Friday he had 3 base hits the go-ahead home run on Saturday, the only game we could watch, by the way. I mean, does anybody want to ask Rob Manfred, how are you growing the game? Well, attendance up and ratings are up. Well, it's unreal that we cannot watch the game. We could watch Saturday because of Fox, but if you buy the MLTV package, you can't watch it. I mean, I don't get it. You're not doing anybody a favor by not allowing us to watch the games 4 hours away from Houston. What are you doing? Right. And then you cut all those minor league baseball teams. This A's thing is a mess. Why anybody would get into business with John Fisher, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent, I know, but God, it is so frustrating to not be able to watch Major League Baseball when you're paying for it. NBA is not any better. It's one thing if you don't want to pay for it. It's another thing to pay for it and not be able to watch. It's outrageously stupid. You're not growing the game, and I don't think you're maximizing revenue either, because I think people would buy more if you could watch all the games. Anyway, so Soto has that game-winning home run, has the game-winning base hit on Sunday. Clay Holmes got in and out of trouble. 2 on, nobody out in the 9th, and that was the bottom of the order. The top of the order comes up, and he gets them, including Altuve and Alvarez and maybe Tucker. But the Yankees start out 4-0. I was told there's weather today. I don't know if the Yankees are at home today or not. Do they take Mondays off? Let me see here. Monday. Yankees are actually in Arizona. That's an odd way to start the season. 4 at Houston and then go play the defending NL champs. But that's a way for it to warm up, right? Mets are off to a Metsies kind of start. That is a disaster of an organization. God, a disaster of an organization. All right, so just to let you know, we will start these Schultzycasts. The idea is 6:55 on Monday through Friday. That's to avoid the other one who does it. That's fine. Mascona does it, about 7:20. So we want to avoid that because he's he and not me. So I got to go around him, and that's fine. But this is the only local morning sports talk show in the Acadiana area. All right. So appreciate it. We're up to already 57. So please like and subscribe. Let me see how many of you have done it, because we can check that out really quickly. Let's sign out of Locked On Sunbelt and see how many have subscribed. Studio, we're getting videos. Trying not to get feedback here. Okay, come on. Nobody subscribed. You got to subscribe. Please add Schultzycast in YouTube. So hopefully you guys will do that afterwards. Up to 87 subscribers, so that's pretty good. We started at 10 last Monday. I don't know where the 10 were. I wasn't posting anything. Eventually we'll try to get guests. I would presume probably take a page out of the Lebitard show. It is one thing to get guests on. This is a one-man show. So I'm not sure about bringing guests on live. Also, it's early, but could take a page out of the Lebitard show where kind of post interviews later on. Obviously, we're going to cover the Saints draft and the NFL draft. I am all in on Jaden Daniels going to the Patriots. Not a big Drake May fan. I think the J.J. McCarthy thing is all smoke and mirrors. We'll see. I mean, they were talking over the weekend that J.J. McCarthy may go second. Okay. And I'm a Michigan fan. I like Jaden Daniels. Everyone's trying to poke holes in him. It's amazing. Everyone's trying to poke holes in Jaden Daniels despite his numbers. And everyone's trying to pump up Drake May despite his numbers. And, one has ridiculous numbers and one does not. And one number's got worse. It'll be interesting to see what the Saints do, right? We're going to have a run on quarterbacks and a run on wide receivers. You very easily, before the Saints pick, could have 5 quarterbacks taken and 3 wide receivers. And that's going to leave somebody good for the Saints, whether it's an offensive lineman, another wide receiver, or Brock Bowers. I mean, I'm sorry, if Brock Bowers is sitting there, I think he's the biggest mismatch in the draft offensively. I know he's coming off the injury, but if somehow they could end up with Brock Bowers, I'd be thrilled. All right. If it's an offensive tackle, fine as well. But if Brock Bowers is sitting there, go get Brock Bowers. So we'll be doing a lot of that. The idea is that, I'll get some interviews, record them, and then post them as additional content, when people are conscious. It's one thing on a morning sports talk show. They can get people to come on at 7 or 7:30 to ask somebody to wake up at 6:55 and sound, audible is a little rude. So we'll try to get people, John Hendricks, Luke Johnson, could even get my buddy Kevin Foote to come on and do some stuff. So please subscribe. All right, we're done. It's kind of rambling here, but we got 58 people watching. It's a big help. We got Iowa and LSU tonight. The Yankees playing the Diamondbacks. Who the Astros got? I looked at the Yankees. The Astros are hosting the Blue Jays. Blue Jays 2-2. Astros 0-4. Let me check out the baseball standings. The Tigers went 3-0. Cleveland's 3-1. Rangers 2-1. Atlanta 2-1. Marlins 0-4. Did you see the Marlins complaining about the shadows? Like the roof was open in Miami and they're complaining about the shadows? See, that's an excuse. Because the other team's playing in the shadows too. If you're banged up and you're injured, those are reasons. Don't blame it on shadows. I mean, that's insane. Why is the other team used to the shadows? We're not used to the shadows? That's crazy. Also, we're not quite in a rest season, but apparently we are. A rest season is like post-draft and post minicamp. And you have this 2 months where there's no structure for NFL players. And Rashid Rice is out drag racing in a Corvette. I mean, what is it with these guys? As if Henry Ruggs IV didn't teach anybody and everybody? Maybe not. I mean, Rashid Rice is incredibly lucky that he did not kill himself, kill somebody else. We'll never find out if he was drunk, ran away from the accident. So maybe he was, but this was like 6:20 at night. I mean, it's just stupid, just stupid. So we'll find out what's going on. That is, has retained counsel. I don't know if he's turned himself in or what he's going to talk about that, but it keeps on going. We're up to 40 minutes. Again, a little bit longer with everything that's going on. We'll absolutely recap the LSU Iowa game. We'll find out what the Cajuns, maybe we'll find out what the Cajuns rotation is today. We'll hear from Matt Deggs. We'll also hear from Cajun softball coach here at Glasgow. They win another series. Like, it kind of goes, what is it, like 84 straight Sun Belt series? Again, it's kind of the same thing. They're really good in the Sun Belt, but here's going to be the difference. You can go also to warrennolan.com. Let's check it out and do college softball. And this is the difference on how the Cajuns baseball is scheduled compared to the softball. Softball RPI right now is 20. Okay. They currently have the number 5 strength of schedule and number 1 strength of schedule out of conference in the nation. RPI is 20. Predictive records. Let's see where we are here. All right. For Cajun softball, 40-16. Non-conference strength of schedule is 2. Strength of schedule is 10 overall, and RPI of 14. I'm not sure who they're going to lose to here. Let's see who they got. They actually have that. They do have them losing 2 out of 3 to Texas State. They have them losing to LSU, and that's it. So they got them losing 3 more games the rest of the way. But because their strength of schedule is really good, they're 14 RPI. That's going to be the difference between the Cajuns baseball and the Cajun softball. He's scheduled to host not only regional, but maybe super. And Cajuns baseball scheduled themselves to win a lot of ball games at home. Big difference. We'll see what happens. Maybe they both play well enough to be hosting a super. That happened in 2014. That was outrageous. Like, Ragin Cajuns hosted the Sun Belt, hosted regional, hosted super. They didn't go on the road for a month until they went to the World Series. Cajuns baseball hosted. Was that the same thing? The Sun Belt? They certainly hosted the regional and then the super, and then they lost. So, all right. Because we had so much to talk about, and we did go over 40 minutes. Usually be about a half an hour. Eventually we'll get it up to an hour. And I will start to work on getting interviews of local interest. All right. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please like and subscribe on Facebook, or on Facebook, share it, and subscribe on YouTube. We should absolutely be able to get up to 100 subscribers, by the end of the day. And I'll put shorts up and, recap the show as well. So again, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great Monday, everybody. Stay tuned and be on the lookout, I should say. Be on the lookout for the Matt Deggs presser. We'll cut that up and post some videos on that as well. Thanks so much. Have a great Monday, everybody. And thanks for watching episode number 6 of the Schultzycast.